Hey guys, what's up? We are out on Lake Michigan looking for some big pre-spawn smallmouth. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the techniques and the tools that I use to target these fish this time of year. It's late March, early April. This video is going to use footage from two different outings because I had some camera issues, so I lost some footage from one of my cameras. I think I've got that stuff sorted now, but I've still been catching the smallies whether the cameras are running or not. So let's go ahead and get into that so we can talk about how to target these fish in the early spring. Cold water Lake Michigan smallmouth right there. Maybe a 16-incher started off. Been fishing out here a little while. A little more pressure. A few more boats than I expected. That's all right. I'm gonna wander around and see if we can't get a few of these. It's a nice one. A little thick one. Don't have a measuring board with me today, so see if we can catch 5 and get a weight on him. This one's 247, 2.5 pounder. And there he goes. There's one. Oh, that's a big one. Stay down, boy. That's a nice fish. Let's go, boys. That might go 5. It's a good way to start off the year. I like that. Too bad I don't have my board. Might be a little short of 20, but definitely in the 18 to 19 range, maybe over 19. It's a thick one.
4 pounds even right there. Stopped on 3.99, but I saw 4 right before that. I'm not gonna mess around with it too much, but solid 4, 2.5 to start, so 6.5 pounds for 2 fish. All right, I'll give you guys a little look at what I'm throwing today. I just got a dark sleeper. I've had this in a couple videos, but I really like this clearish chartreuse color here. This is a 3/4 ounce, and all I'm doing is just slow rolling it on these rack transitions. Now these racks that you can see, actually, they go pretty far out. There's a little bit of space out there where they aren't. So I'm throwing out into the deeper water that presumably doesn't have rack. So I'm not feeling anything super far out, but I am feeling it as I bring it in, and I'm just slowly ticking it over those rocks. And I'm telling you guys, just like I said, there are little spaces in these rocks where the smallies, I can't see down there, but I think the smallies are just sitting in those little openings, those little gaps. And as soon as something bumps by on the rock right next to them or up above them, if they're sitting low on the ground, they just come up and grab it. So I ticked into a rock there and I paused, and then I felt dit. So he picked it up and turned, and I was able to set the hook on a nice 4-pound Lake Michigan smallie. I don't think these fish necessarily need it to be dead sticked, but I'm not moving the sleeper fast at all. I want to feel the rocks it's hitting.
Another tank.
Let's go. That's a golden tank right there. Look how gold that fish is. Goodness gracious. Take a nice look at that one. Looks like a goldfish. We've got 3.88, 4, and 2.5. Though in 3 fish, we've got almost 10.5 pounds. Just throwing it out, letting it sit, letting it sink, and then just slowly bumping it off those rocks. Trying to get it close to the transition where these rocks come out and end. But with each cast, I'm not really 100% sure where they end. If we go to side scan, it looks like I'm mostly on the transition out here, but I still feel stuff on the bottom, so it's harder bottom. When I run it into a big rock on that transition or near it, pop it off and pause it, that's where the bites have been coming. Airborne. That's another one. Number 4, it's a solid 3-pounder. 3.52. Big first cast with the swim bait. Stay on. It's coming at me. Let's go. Let's do this. It's a freaking 3-pounder to start. 3.2. Let's go. Slimy. Got it here on the Big Bite Baits Just a swim bait. It's more of a translucent color here though. Figured with the clear conditions, probably not gonna want something too loud, but really all I did was let that baby sink to the bottom, and I literally popped it over the first rock and he smacked it. Alright, so the transition is about right where I am. So really it's not too far off. It's from about 14 or 15 to 11 or so. Of course that comes up, and there are some deeper spots as we work down. There are some transitions from 20 up to that same depth, so I'm gonna be looking for them there. But it's a good sign that we've already had one fish, one bite. Unfortunately that one came off, but maybe just didn't get the hook, because we're fishing with an open hook jig head, so if they bite it, shouldn't be much of a problem getting them in, as long as the line isn't super frayed from the zebra mussels. Popping that over the rock, 10 feet or so. That's another good one. So cool in this clear water. Woo! Let's go! Another nice one. Swim bait, baby. Love swim bait season. That one's a little smaller, but still pushing 3 pounds, straight footballs. So again guys, nothing too special. It's a Big Bite Baits jig head. I'm not sure the name, I'll link it in the description, but I really like this jig head because it's got a 90-degree line tie in this bullet shape. I feel like it just kind of bulldozes those zebra mussels and those rocks without actually putting the line in much of the way. So if you're maintaining a good angle, I mean, your line shouldn't be straight 180 degrees like this. It's not gonna be 90 either, but it's gonna be somewhere hopefully in the middle, to where as this impacts zebra mussels, rocks, whatever, this is going to just avoid abrasion. And I know I've got some nicks already, and it's just unavoidable. You're gonna get some nicks, and for that reason you need to be diligent and retie so you're not missing bass. But I really do like this jig head for this specific situation for the reasons that I just mentioned, namely just kind of being stronger than the zebra mussels, which is something you just have to contend with out here on Lake Michigan. There's just no escaping it. And if you guys can see right here, there's this little point that juts out. Just, I mean, it's just I don't know, 15 foot maybe difference in the shoreline, but I popped it right over a rock right on that transition where it is going from deep to shallow right on this corner, this point as it heads out into the water. Right as I brought it over that, just bam. He was not super far from the boat. So I kind of hook setted him. It almost felt like 90 degrees, but it wasn't quite that. Probably a 16.5, 17 incher. All right, so another retrieve that I'll do out here in the pre-spawn when I know that they're around these rocks. Their positioning has been a little bit different. Some have been further off, some have been closer. And so to target the closer fish, what I've been doing, or what I just did there in that cast, is I throw up a little bit closer from deeper water to the rocks, and then I start to reel. I get it out from like the 2-3 foot stuff, but then I start letting it die. And when I feel it hit the bottom, then I keep reeling again. I don't want it dragging on any of that, but essentially I want it to kind of slack line down. So the bait's going like this, and each time it's getting a little bit deeper, and then that way I'm covering that entire transition if I'm doing it right. And that fish, I brought it off a little ways and had a couple pauses in there, and sure enough, on the pause, reeled into him and he was there. And then now I can kind of pitch back to that same spot and do the same thing a little more parallel. Bring it off that real shallow stuff, but I just want to pause it and I want to slack line fall, keeping an eye on your line. Stop reeling, slack line fall, keep an eye on your line. I need to fish 16 or a little heavier fluoro out here just to see how it holds up against the zebra mussels. I'm not sure how good it would be, but I usually throw 12. There's a fish. Oh, that's a good one. Stay on, boy, stay on. Stay on. Oh, I think it's a trout. I think it's a trout. I wanted this to eat. Let's go. Yes. Get in here. Yes. We got dinner, boys. I believe that's a coho. New species and good eating size. Coming home for dinner.